Welcome back to Rusty Relic Revivals, everybody. Thanks for tuning in once again. Appreciate those that are continuing to follow and the additional ones we've got that have liked and subscribed. I think we're up to 500 plus subscribers now, so thank you for that. Keep watching my videos and I'll keep posting them. Got this 91 F-350. I've named it Big Red. Got it back in February, I believe it was, this year. I've been sitting a little while, got it running, ran really good. Pretty clean body. I've actually drove it all year. Did a quick video when I first got it of getting it running, and then I think I did another one of getting a block heater going. That got me through the end of the cold weather. Drove it all summer, no issues. Starting to come into some cooler temps here in East Tennessee. Block heater works great, but I want to get those glow plugs working so I don't have to worry about plugging it up. We'll do a quick video here on my process of narrowing down what I did and how I hooked it up. I've actually already performed this work, but I thought, you know, this would be really good information for somebody else to have. So bear with me and I'll show you what we got going on. All right, we're under the hood of Big Red. I got the air cleaner off. That's no big deal, just the wing nut. That's all I've took off so far. Kind of show you what we're dealing with here. So back here, this is your glow plug relay, your controller. It's not just a relay, it's a whole controller, but there's a bolt right there that holds it into the intake. And another one over here, right there, that holds it down into the intake. So that's your two bolts that anchor it down to the intake. Harnesses here. And just because this is easiest to get to, there's 4 of these on each side. This is just a little wire that goes to your glow plug out of this harness. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 back there, and then 4 coming up the passenger side as well. Basically, the glow plugs work as a heater to heat the pre-combustion chamber so that the diesel will start easier in cold weather. The glow plugs ground through being screwed into the block or the intake, and the hot supplied up here to this wire basically just works like a little heating element and creates heat. So you can take these wires off and make sure that there's no shorts to ground and on the hot side. So you can check from these wires to the battery for continuity. You want to make sure they have continuity to the harness but not to ground, because that's the hot side. You can also check from the glow plug body to ground on the battery, make sure that has continuity, because that's the ground side. You want that to have continuity. I checked all of that according to the troubleshooting procedures. Said make sure that you don't have any broken wires. All that's working like it should. I did a couple hours worth of troubleshooting to make sure everything was right, and it was. Then I went ahead, I did install all 8 new Motorcraft glow plugs. Make sure you get Motorcraft. The cheap aftermarket will swell up and cause you all kinds of problems. So new Motorcraft glow plugs all the way down both sides. So that will not be an issue for me. And then I checked everything else, and when I turned the switch on, the relay just said click, 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 click. And it wouldn't latch in. I made sure I didn't have excess resistance anywhere, checked everything I knew to check, and then I was still getting that condition. Everything I found reading the book and troubleshooting everything said, if you have that condition, then your actual controller is bad. And again, it's not just a relay, it's that whole controller back there that bolts to the intake. And the only one I found in town I got, and it was no good. Out of the box, it was actually broken. So I took it back and I said, you know what? I'm just gonna hook it up on a push button. I know all my wires are good. I know I don't have any broke wires. I know I don't have any wires going somewhere they shouldn't. It's just a bad controller. And it's really a complex controller, because the way it works is it gives it hot all the time to this terminal. Let me get my phone back here. Gives it hot all the time to this terminal, and what drops the relay out is this ground comes up from a little circuit board down in the bottom of this controller, and it measures resistance as the engine heats up, and then it drops this ground out, and that's how it turns your glow plugs off. It's really kind of over-engineered for what it needs to do. It's just way too complicated. So I decided I would put it on a push button. I'll show you how I did that. I found this little diagram on dieselhub.com. Let me give a shout out to them for posting this. This is actually really helpful. It gives a good diagram of all the wires that comes in, and it was helpful to me because it looks just like it does out under the hood. It's a very easy and visual pattern to follow. So what I did is, if you read this blue one right here, it goes to that little connector. It says the blue wire from the glow plug controller to the electrical harness for wait to start light. Wait to start light is the little light on your dash when you turn the key on. It says wait to start. So this blue wire sends a ground to your wait to start light out of the controller. This white wire from relay to glow plug controller. So this white wire comes out of the controller down here at the bottom. It loops around and comes up here. And when the controller thinks it's necessary to turn the glow plugs on, it grounds this terminal, and that pulls in this connection right here, and you get glow plug action. When it wants to turn them off, it takes this ground away and it disconnects this connection, and you got no more glow plugs. So instead of being a system that breaks the hot, it breaks the ground, and you change whether or not they're on or off by whether or not the ground comes to this terminal. So what I did is, since this is what turns the relay on, and it's also what turns the wait to start light on, I connected this white wire tied into this blue wire under the hood. So now my blue wire comes in. I cut them both here so the white doesn't go into the controller anymore. Blue comes in, white comes in to here. So now this terminal and this wire are the same thing. And then we're in the cab of the truck now, so maybe you can see this. I brought a wire just under the dash, ground the steering column mounting bolt right here. So I just picked up a ground there with a little U-shaped wire terminal, brought it down here to a 5-amp fuse, because it only takes like an amp or two to turn that relay on. I just want to make sure nothing shorts out. So I got a 5-amp fuse there, and then I came around to a momentary push button that's down here under the dash. I'll show you that. It's right there. When I push that momentary push button, it makes that switch, and from there it comes up to a T-tap, which, if you're not familiar with those are really good for teeing into an existing wire. They're like a way better version of a piggyback. So that comes up into this T-tap, which goes into the wire that grounds the wait to start light in the dash. So there's your wait to start light. Again, I'm messing with ground here, not hot. So all I'm doing is grounding the wait to start light to turn it on. The reason I did it that way is because if this blue wire under the hood goes to the wait to start light, that means it also comes from the wait to start light and goes out under the hood. And I couldn't find anywhere in the firewall to push through a wire without drilling a hole or cutting some rubber, and I didn't really want to do that. So I thought, I've already got that wire. So I hooked up my momentary push button to the wait to start wire, and then out under the hood, I just connected the wait to start wire to this white wire that goes to this ground. And I'll go back out under the hood and show you that. So now when I push my momentary push button, it applies a ground that comes out here to this plug right here. That's the plug for the wait to start light, comes out right there. And then I've also got this connected to that, which comes back to this ground. So when I push the push button, it illuminates the wait to start light and also sends a ground back through there to here and connects this relay. And then when it turns this relay on, I've got power going from there to there out to the glow plugs. I actually just took all that apart to show you guys, and I just got it all back together. Okay, I've actually been using this for a week or more, and it actually works really well. So down here, like I said, there's your momentary button. It only works when the switch is on, so this isn't going to be something that'll work with the switch off. So that's a insurance that you won't have something short out as well. But I guess it could also work as a theft deterrent. Somebody doesn't know where that button is. So anyway, I will show you how it works. And this thing has not been started in probably a couple days at least. Okay, switch is on. I've got my dash lights and stuff, but the wait to start only comes on if I push that button. See it light up? And you can also hear it out under the hood. Put my phone out here and see if you can hear it. See if you can hear it when I push that button. Hopefully you're able to hear it click, click, click. But yeah, so when I want to start it, make sure it's neutral. I just hold this like 6-7 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I didn't hold the starter down the first time, but yeah, she fires right up. So glow plug on a push button seems to be the way to go on these old IDIs. At least it was for me. It didn't take much time once I figured out what I wanted to do. Again, you need to verify that you don't have any shorts, anything grounded out that shouldn't be, or open that should be. Real quick, what I ended up doing, I cut the white wire off down at the bottom of the module, and I tied it into this plug, which goes to the wait to start light. That's all I really did out here. Other than that, this is pretty much original. This is still hot coming from the battery, still hot coming from the switch. This is still going out to the glow plugs. All that I left. The only thing I really changed was this white wire now goes to the wait to start plug. That's the only thing I really changed out here. All right, there you have it. Again, you want to make sure that you got good glow plugs. Check each one for resistance. It should have less than 1 ohm resistance. Checked all those new Motorcraft before I put them in, and they all were exactly right. Just a couple bucks at O'Reilly's or Advance or something for a little push button. You can mount it wherever. I put it right down here with my brake controller. Won't get hit accidentally. And I kind of like that I tied it in to the wait to start light, because then you have that visual light when you know you're pushing the glow plug button. And I started it the other day. It was I think it was 27 degrees, which is pretty chilly for a diesel, and it fired right up. So it seems to be working good. If you got any questions, I know it's kind of a quick overview this time, but if you got any questions, drop me a comment, like, subscribe. Feel free to kick off a conversation, and I'll tell you all I can about it. Hopefully keep these old Fords trucking. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time, Rusty Relic Revivals.